Welcome back to today's therapy takeaway. It's the Good Friday edition. We're talking today about guilt. And is guilt a painful form of love, or is guilt a need to suffer? A whole great ton of psychological symptoms and suffering and self-punishment and self-sabotage comes from this reservoir of unprocessed guilt that we can carry around inside of ourselves. And that's because guilt is the most painful emotion, the most hard to process well, and gets so easily connected with punishment themes and, torment themes and shame on you kind of themes. What's healthy guilt, and how can we help you just bear the pain of this painful form of love that wants to take responsibility for the harm that you caused somebody that you love and care about, either somebody else or yourself? How can you just use that guilt, harness that guilt as motivation to move forward, as motivation to align yourself with your values and who you really are as a caring, moral person, and to then release that guilt so that it no longer has to fester like some putrid swamp inside a person that's just fueling, that's just kind of used by this tormenting voice that just beats us up and says we don't deserve anything good and says that we need to be sabotaged if we take steps forward. This came up twice today with people who are just wonderful people, caring people. But it's like for some reason, every time they started to do something good in their life, it was like something grabbed their ankle and dragged them back into this pit. And they would just get depressed. They would start to sabotage themselves. And it was like, why is this happening? Why do I keep doing this? And that would just make them beat themselves up even more. When we can just help the person tolerate and harness and access this unconscious guilt that's getting triggered, feels to people like they're literally walking out of prison. Even all they did was just bear some feelings and let out some feelings, but it's like they were living in this kind of internal prison, right? That they've finally been able to let themselves go free, because as long as the guilt was there, it's like they'd take a step out of prison and it was like, how dare you? And then they just get thrown back in psychologically. And then that would manifest in all kinds of ways in their life and their relationships and their productivity and their work. The way that we can tie this into Good Friday, and this is what came up with the patient today, is he's a really kind of grew up devout Catholic, and this image of the cross and just like Jesus on the cross was used as this like, you were bad, and so therefore he had to die. And it was this like punishing tones. And we just really helped him see, look, that is a distortion that's kind of harnessed by this punishing message. But really what that's about is just the willingness to bear the pain, willingness to bear the responsibility and the pain of other people, and the willingness to lovingly bear that in ourselves and to tolerate the pain of that for the sake of the people that we love. That's really what that exemplifies for us on Good Friday. As you are dealing with your own history, your own pain, your own wounds, your own regrets, I hope you can feel into the guilt, the healthy guilt, the loving guilt. That's really what it is. It's just a painful form. I hurt somebody that I love. And to just let yourself feel that and release that and experience the forgiveness that's offered in the midst of that. And that in doing so, you can free yourself from these needs to suffer, these needs for punishment. And as always, the Emotion Fit program is there to help you kind of identify where those things are really grabbing you. So feel free to check that out as well. And happy Good Friday.